On board 2 cruise ships in Hong Kong and Yokohama, Japan, fear, uncertainty, and isolation among thousands of people. They're under quarantine out of concern that passengers and crew were exposed to the Wuhan coronavirus. Carrie and Roger Maniscalco, on board the Diamond Princess in Japan, can't leave their cabin for at least 2 weeks.
That's exactly how we feel, is trapped. It feels like a pretty helpless situation. We're powerless and pretty much at the mercy of the Japanese government to decide when we can get off this ship.
It's pretty devastating when you hear it, that it's that close. And of course, the first thing you think of is, did we get infected?
The Maniscalcos say officials on their vessel checked them out and determined they didn't need to be tested for the virus. But officials say at least 20 people on board that same ship have been infected, including 3 from the U.S. By the plane load, hundreds of Americans have been evacuated from the Chinese city of Wuhan since last month, many of them being housed at several military bases in the U.S. They'll be quarantined. 4 who arrived in San Diego yesterday were taken aside for extra testing because they had coughs. But even the rest, like the wife and kids of Sam Roth, stuck at Travis Air Force Base, could be on lockdown for 2 weeks.
They're doing everything they can to stay healthy, to keep their hands clean, to avoid going outside.
Other Americans flying to the U.S. from China are being screened for symptoms at 11 designated airports. Tonight, at the deserted Wuhan airport, Canadian Michael Schellenberg and his family were relieved to finally get onto an evacuation flight. The coronavirus has so far infected more than 28,000 people and killed more than 550, almost all of them inside mainland China. But the virus has raced across more than 25 other countries and territories, infecting more than 250 people outside China. There are a dozen cases in the U.S.
The biggest concern here is that it looks like older populations are more affected, people who have underlying other illnesses that may make them more at risk of the severe forms of this disease.
A vaccine for the virus could take months to develop, experts say, and those tracking the virus say there's so much about it they still don't know.
We don't know the source of the outbreak. We don't know what its natural reservoir is, and we don't properly understand its transmissibility or severity.
The virus has caused massive disruptions in travel and commerce in China. Analysts say the Chinese economy could hit a recession because of this, which will, of course, affect major American companies.
I think we've already seen public reports by several of the major tech companies, Apple, others. They will typically not be able to find alternative suppliers in other parts of the world. So this is very rapidly an escalating crisis for more and more sectors also here in the United States and indeed around the world.
Now, in the middle of all this comes word from China that the man who first warned about the coronavirus, a whistleblower named Dr. Li Wenliang from Wuhan, has died of coronavirus. Dr. Li was targeted and reprimanded by Chinese police when he sounded the alarm about the virus in December. Chinese officials calling him disruptive.